Every year, the Children's Hospital Association sponsors a Family Advocacy Day. And joining us now from Connecticut Children's Senior Director of External Relations, Jane Baird. Jane, thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
Now, again, we're talking about a day, but it's actually a whole week of events, right?
It is, yeah. Normally, in pre-COVID times, we would travel to Washington, D.C. with a patient family, go visit our congressional offices on Capitol Hill. But now, with it not being safe to travel, we have morphed it into a virtual event that really goes on all week, because we realize, wow, this is a really great opportunity to connect with other children's advocates across the state and engage them in some conversations related to timely children's health topics.
Right, and while you do sort of miss some things with in-person, but having it virtual, anybody can join in here. You have so many more opportunities, and all of these events are happening throughout the day. And it starts today, or it's actually started yesterday, but there is an event happening this morning.
There is actually. So we started yesterday. We had our president and CEO Jim Schmerling had a conversation with the Federal Communications Commission chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel, who is actually a West Hartford native, and it was great. And if you're thinking, FCC, what does that have to do with children's health?
Right. Initially, yeah, you might have that thought for sure.
But it actually has a lot to do with it. Number one, she was talking about the fact that FCC will be rolling out the new 988 National Suicide Prevention Hotline later this summer, which is obviously of significant importance to people's ability to get help when they need it.
Right.
The FCC also oversees a lot of the infrastructure that supports telemedicine. And one thing that we learned as Connecticut Children's ramped up our virtual health capabilities during the pandemic, telemedicine is a hugely important tool and really enabled families to continue getting the care their kids needed while staying safe during the pandemic, and will probably be a really important tool going forward as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, speaking of that, supporting children's behavioral health in schools has been so crucial and so important, as we've learned over the past 2 years, and there is an important session happening this afternoon that's covering that specifically.
So the session this afternoon is actually about pediatric research, but then on Wednesday and Thursday, we're having 2 sessions about mental health. The one that's going to happen tomorrow morning will be a bit of a review of the state legislative session. I'm sure you heard and covered that legislators placed a real priority this year on children's mental health and passed 3 big legislative packages which will help improve access to care. And so tomorrow morning we'll be talking about what happened in the session, what impact we think that will have, what still needs to be done, because there's obviously they couldn't get everything done in one session. And then on Thursday we're going to talk specifically about how we can do more to support kids' emotional wellness in the school setting.
And what are some other sessions that people should be particularly aware of so they can maybe mark their calendars and set an alert to check in?
This afternoon, we're doing a session on pediatric research, because you may know that many of the pediatric experts at Connecticut Children's are also physician scientists. So they do research into new treatments for particular conditions or opportunities for cures of certain diseases. We have physicians who do research into rare bone disease, treatments for cancer. So this afternoon we'll be talking about all the different kinds of research that's done in the pediatric healthcare space, and also what the federal government can do to improve funding so that there can be even more progress made in that area.
And what do people need to do if they want to join in here?
So
do they have to pre-register?
We do. So all of the sessions are free and open to the public, but if you go to www.connecticutchildrens.org/Family Advocacy Week, you'll see descriptions of all of the sessions and links to the registration pages, and then you can join in the conversation.
I appreciate your time. Before we go, I just want to ask you, if there's one session that you think people should really check out, what would you say that would be it?
You know, I would think that the one that probably speaks to most parents and families out there is the one on Thursday about what can we do to better support emotional wellness in schools. So I think the Thursday one, but if you're interested in research or want, if you're a policy wonk like me and want to follow what happened in the legislative session, tomorrow's session might be right up your alley.
All right, great stuff. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll have the links and all the information on our website.
Perfect.